Hello and welcome everybody to episode 14 of Uploading Podcast, the flagship podcast of having too many GPUs as the topics.
Sorry, too many GPUs?
GPUs, yeah. Graphics processor units. Or processing units.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a bit distracted here by Etsy for a second. I tried looking up shipping on that and was just a bunch of like actually cargo shipping stuff as opposed to like any fan art or standees or anything of certain characters, and that disappointed me. Because I got onto that by another site that did have a few heart-shaped pins for like certain ships from My Hero Academy. That's none of the ones I'm really big into, so... Oh well, I suppose it is the life of a shipper. Be criminally underserved when it comes to your niche ship. Oh, not even niche, but like, yeah, it's not gonna be canon, and no one's really gonna do much beyond fanfics and occasional fan art. Non-lewd fan art. Lewd fan art, everyone gets paired with everyone all the time. Straight gay, bi, whatever. When you get into Rule 34, it just gets signals in. It's the rambling section.
Nothing. We've done nothing. It's the 4th of April, everybody. It is National Walk Around Things Day.
National Walk Around Things Day.
Yes.
That is not even worthy of a phrasing. That is such a pathetic national day.
It says National Walk Around Things Day has been created to give you a day whereby you can walk around your problems rather than deal with them head on.
I'm sorry, and
every day.
They think that's a significant different day for that.
I mean, that's what you should be doing. You should be facing your consequences and problems and shit, but
no one wants to do that.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that unless they have the shit sorted out.
It's also
everyone always wants to
Day.
avoid it. Vitamin C.
Yes.
No, I can't make a joke about that. I wanted to, but just no funny sources of it.
Especially straight people need some vitamin C. Straight men. That's a C joke. Okay.
Well, that's not exactly a vitamin. That's more like a suppository.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty funny. I think we've got a great show for you today. We have interesting topics, some of which I think are pretty stupid, but then also there are some alright ones.
And I make no promises for just how thirsty either two of us will be throughout the course of this episode.
Oh my god.
It wildly fluctuates.
Stay away from this. We have to leave wetness out of this podcast in the future. I'm sorry, I don't want to do it anymore, even after I've literally just made a joke like that.
Yes, Silas, it's clearly all coming from me.
Yes, it is.
You're probably going to get cut in at some point around here. So, we went off some stuff irrelevant for a bit. Rambling section.
This is insane.
Silas.
Right now. This recording is... I'm telling you now, you are very happy that this is not one episode that's 3 hours long because we've already recorded 41 minutes. Yes. And the only thing that we've done is we've said like hello and like we've made the intro joke and that's basically it.
I think there's some other stuff that will stay in potentially.
Well,
definitely once you start going off on that one thing. Yeah. Once you start going off that thing, we're cutting into that what I said. Anywho, rambling section. You have some thoughts, Silas?
I have watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the second film.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it.
Spoilers, yeah. I think it's very interesting that... So, this is releasing on the 4th of April. And as you know, fucking Vitamin C Day, everybody.
I mean, we know what the Sonic fandom is all about. You know? What keeps it going? What sustains it?
Oh my god. No, it's just oranges, vitamin C. Eat an orange.
I wasn't specifically referring to actually
I
that, but it's
don't
like
care.
they're very horny. They're very horny.
No, the C stands for Chaos Emerald that they have to collect. Sonic has to collect Chaos Emeralds in the games. Look at
and
it.
they equip via butt plug.
Oh my god. You are actually insane. You're genuinely fucking mental.
Why, thank you. That's so
It's
kind.
not positive right now, at least. So, Sonic 2, the Sonic Film 2 released on the 31st, actually, here in Germany, which is, I think, really interesting. It's coming out, I think, on the 8th of April. So, depending when you listen to this, I watched it before you fucking. Well, no, not depending when you listen to it. I definitely have.
Yes.
It's really wild to me because there's like other countries where it comes out like a month later, and I'm like fucking why? And it doesn't even have like a dub or anything. It just says subtitles.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Like I never understood that with like such wide disparate release schedules.
Like we get a complete redub of the fucking film, complete translation, and we get it like weeks earlier. What is this? This is German efficiency.
Yeah, probably.
Well, anyways, it's
there's a lot of furries in Germany that needed this to come out as soon as possible. Just like in the audience, but also behind the scenes in production, making sure this got in front of people's eyes as quickly as possible.
Like Paramount Germany randomly 100,000 new applications as soon as they announced making a Sonic film.
Not even new applications, just like coincidentally, everyone hired by that division, it just happens to be a furry. Like no one knows what happened, but like it has, and has led to very specific priorities and a lot of efficiency when those priorities are needed. Needed? Oh god, that failed me at the end. Anywho,
so I watched it in the cinema here, and it was an interesting experience, mainly because you arrive there and it's like this empty wasteland of a building. Like I've been there like years ago. I think like over 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, because before times.
God damn, you look around and you're like, oh look, this is where this random like cafe restaurant thing used to be. It's just like it's like wood now on a wall. Like for half an hour there was one single dude running around working there, operating like cash register, like giving people their nachos and stuff they bought. Our theory is that was the owner because he just did literally everything.
You think you'd have somebody else attend to the snacks?
Well, eventually 2 other people showed up for the snacks, but that was basically it. And then, so we went there, we looked up, when does Sonic 2 show? And it was, room 5 or whatever you call that. You call it a room cinema 5? I don't know.
Theater number 5. Honestly, it's been so long since I've been in a cinema.
Room number 5.
I've forgotten what they referred to. It's like yeeks.
I don't. Well, we're going to go with room for now. I think we should.
Okay.
Because that makes the most sense to me now. So we go there. We've reservated seats because we were like, well, this is going to be packed full, right? In the end, like 15 people showed up, but that's not the point. So, dude is sitting there looking at his like screen, and he printed out the tickets, and we're like, well, when can we enter the room? And then he looked at the weird timetable thing that they have, the timetable program, and he was like, well, shit, this is not correct. There's like 2 films scheduled at the same time in this room. This is not correct. And then
as long as about Sonic, it's fine.
And then he did a bunch of random stuff and put it in a new room and gave us random new seats. That was fine. Weirdly enough, though, he didn't print out new tickets, so He just got out a random piece of paper and wrote, "Oh, room 1, seats, I don't know, 8 and 9 or whatever." So yeah,
that makes sense to not waste the paper.
Well, that's going to be a problem later, though. So we wait there. It's about 10 minutes until 19 o'clock, and the film was supposed to start at 19. We're standing there, we're waiting. Can't go in because the planning was bad. So apparently he was like, at the end, he explained, well, usually not that many people show up, so it's not that much stuff to clean up. But apparently that day was pretty hard when 40 people total showed up. So we ended up having to wait.
That's probably because, sorry.
Well, we ended up having to wait, I think actually 30 minutes after we went. Yeah, we were let in around 19:30 actually.
Jeez.
Which was fucking wild. And then we sat there in the cinema and we waited. And then somebody comes into the room and is like, "Yes, we know that this has been a weird situation, but everybody has to get up and go into room 5 now anyways. Get out of room 1, get into room 5, the original one." We had to move through the whole building. And
I think at that point it would have been easier just to move the film and set it up in number 5.
Well,
than it would have been to,
It was supposed to be in 5, and then they said go to number 1. And that's the point where the dude checking our tickets was like, "Well, this says cinema 5. That's not correct here." And then you showed this random fucking piece of paper where it just says number 1 on it. That's not good. It worked out. So, yeah. And then we walked around and found number 5 and sat down, and then we fucking finally watched it. The dude skipped the random ads and shit, that was at least a good thing.
I mean, yeah, it's probably because just the diminished capacity of the last 2 years, not getting a lot of people whenever they were open, probably just meant they were operating with bare minimum staff.
Well, yeah, I saw that, but we were an hour early there. Almost an hour early, and he was the only person in the whole building. Literally, you could see the other people show up for work. So we watched the film. Then we watched it, and then at the end, what we assume is the owner came back into the room, and he was like, "Yeah, sorry again for the misplanning. That was not good." And then everybody got a free ticket for any new film, and that was good. So I've watched Sonic 2 for free.
That's nice.
So that was good. And yeah, an unlimited coupon for 1 free film. That's good. That's very good. So yeah. Well, it was kind of shit, but it was kind of shit, but pretty good. And the fact that, how long is that film? It's 1 hour and 30 minutes or something. It was supposed to start at 19 and 0 minutes, right? And we were let out at 21:40. Actually, it took super long until the fucking film started. So
dang, the film's 2 hours and 2 minutes.
I think we just waited so long.
No, you're thinking the first one. That was an hour and 39 minutes.
Okay, I don't know. He just said the film is around 1.5 hours long at the beginning of the second one. I don't know if it actually is. I haven't looked it up. Have you?
Yeah, I just looked it up. 2 hours and 2 minutes for the second one.
That doesn't change the fact that we had to wait basically 50 minutes until it fucking started.
Past the original time. Yeah. I guess it's just because, you never know when there's going to be a next wave that drives people out of the cinemas. I completely missed out on Spider-Man Far From Home, and now watching up on it on VOD with my brother. Because, it was at that point where you're okay, this is going to come out now. We're kind of in a low point, which means around the time this is coming out, there's going to be another spike in coronavirus. So it's yeah, we'll just stay home,
Well,
you know. And there was a spike, so it really sucks.
I
And
don't know. We
a
didn't have
lot
to
of
wear
people were
masks,
spoiling
so
it online, not even like in text or anything, which I was avoiding,
yeah.
but just like a lot, those companies or just independent YouTubers who talk about like films and whatnot that I follow, were just putting like things in the thumbnails, like Willem Dafoe in this thing, where it's like, I hadn't seen any of the trailers, I didn't know he was going to be in this, you know? It was really frustrating. Yeah, that surprise spoiled for me. Just scrolling through YouTube, looking for a video to watch, and there's Willem Dafoe in the kind of Green Goblin looking outfit. Yay. Spoilers, I should have said.
Okay. Well,
Anyhow.
I want to give my spoiler-free quick review of that film of Sonic 2. So, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is one of the rare phenomenons where, well, okay, first of all, the first film, people like it very much. It's a pretty good film. But
Yeah, it's what it says on the tin. You get
Sonic,
exactly what you
Sonic
wanted
2,
from it.
well, you get the same thing from Sonic 2 as well, but Sonic 2 is one of the rare, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Phenomenon?
One of the rare
Phenomena.
occurrences of the phenomenon that the sequel is actually way superior than the first part. Because it was just way better, and I like it way more, and it's actually really awesome.
I honestly think that's probably because like after they like changed the design for the first film, like after they got the feedback of that and a bunch of other stuff from the film as a whole as it released, they probably like fine-tuned it and made improvements based upon that. Well, BTW is the company that did the CGI special effects like in the first film, went bankrupt because of that whole redesign. So that sucks.
Nice. Who cares about art anyways? Fuck art. No.
I mean, there's a lot of people who would love to fuck art. It's just we haven't figured out the technical specifications of that yet. Like how to bring them into the real world for them to be fucked.
You're insane. You're actually insane. Shut up. My God. So, yeah, I think I just felt like the characters were just better. All of them were just like better. And it's just really awesome. The things that happen. There's amazing fight scenes. Amazing fight scenes that are animated so well. We've seen Knuckles in the trailer, and we've seen like a tiny glimpse of where Knuckles and Sonic fight. It's really awesome. It's actually fucking awesome.
I can only imagine, like, I don't know if this will be a scene in it or not, but like, just imagining Eggman and Knuckles working together to fight Sonic and Tails sounds like just a very interesting fight. You know? What else I also really do like is they kind of don't fully go back on some of the stylistic choices they made, but also do embrace the video games a bit more. Like you see all the like bug and insect design things from like the original game and all the other adaptations, but they're still all like just complete porcelain white with like maybe some red eyes, like the pods were in the first film, which is something I do like, adapting but still holding on to some of the roots from like where you started, where there was some success, keeping some of that style
paying
going.
a little homage.
Yeah. Not in terms of like the games, like it's a good thing they kind of pivoted towards that, but like keeping the motif from like the first film that still had a lot of good stuff going from it. At the same time, giving Eggman that big wild mustache, It's got things going for it. It's improving with time.
I really like the second film. And also I recommend all of you do this too. I watched the first film the day before I watched the second, just so I had like a very like direct comparison. And yeah, the second is just way better. It's like when you watch Alien and then you watch Alien 2 and you're like, well, fuck. Or Aliens, sorry, it's called Aliens. And you
Yeah.
watch Aliens, and it's like, wow, this is also like, goddamn. It kind of downranks the first Sonic film. Like, if you thought Sonic 1 was like 9 out of 10, and then you watch Sonic 2, it's going to downgrade it to like 6. At least in my mind, it kind of did. It makes this first Sonic film kind of mid, like still good, but like, yeah,
Maybe.
that
In
awesome.
my opinion, I think I'd still remember like all the things it had to overcome to even like be a good film, as opposed to like a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10. Like, of all the rakes it put in front of itself to be stepped on, all the ones they had to like avoid, like it was a bloody minefield to come out with a good film. I think I'd still rate it high. Maybe it still gets knocked down a bit, but I'd still keep it up pretty high just for like overcoming its own like shortcomings.
I want to goddamn watch Sonic 2 again. Like, actually, it's pretty good. So, when this film releases in cinemas in your area, I am telling you, please go watch it. I enjoyed going to the cinema again, even though it was really weird.
I don't know why I'm that's going to be myself. Honestly, I haven't gone to see the Batman. I'm going to wait for that on VOD. Maybe Doctor Strange too.
Well, I went there with a mate, so yeah.
I might go with my brother to see Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, but I don't know. I'm just very nervous.
It's also wild because at one point the owner dude like stood in front of the crowd of 40 people, and he was like, well, who's here for the Batman? And then 2 people went to see that film, and I was like, how amazing does it have to be 2 single people in the fucking in the whole big ass fucking room?
I think because the Batman's been out for a while now at this point, you're getting into the tail end.
But like that's funny to
numbers. Yeah.
In my brain, cinema's still like packed full, but like actually it's kind of not right now.
Yeah. Just a lot of people don't want to take the risk for every film like they used to. And it's just the case of it.
For Sonic 2. And also, on the 4th, Freedom Day is coming in my state, which is when you don't have to wear masks anymore.
Yeah, Freedom Day is a bit overblowing it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely it is. I'm like, really?
To be perfectly honest, like on public transport, going my like weekly grocery shopping, I'm still gonna wear the mask.
Yes.
It's not even for not even just because of like COVID. Even if you said, okay, this is not even like a epidemic anymore. We've dealt with this efficiently now. It's like, but there's a common cold and everything else goes around. Deaths for all of those went down as we took precautions against COVID. So it's like, I don't know, the mild inconvenience is kind of worth it, like I'm playing some small part in saving like thousands of lives, Like it's not that inconvenient compared to like the outcome of it. So I'm just gonna put up with it, Like on obviously at a certain point when I'm out and it's like, okay, I want the subway now. I'm gonna take it off and hope for the best. But then after that, I'm gonna put it on and be fine with it.
Subway, eat fresh. I don't know why I said that. Genuinely don't know.
Don't make a joke.
With actually no clue.
Make a joke.
Well, wear masks if you want to. If you're Asian, you're wearing one anyways.
That's actually a very good cultural thing for them to do. Like, public
depending
transport.
On the Asian country, that's a very broad joke.
I know Japan specifically is notorious for it, and it's like, it's a good thing.
I think that's a good idea. Yes, when you're ill and you're going to the doctor on a bus.
Not even that. It's like,
why wouldn't you wear a mask?
When you're on the bus at all, you never know when someone's ill and is just like a jerk and isn't considering other people, or don't even know they're ill, Or
do it on purpose. Definitely people do that too.
Oh yeah, there's definitely people, a lot of anti-maskers who will never, no matter how bad they're feeling, put on a mask for other people's sake, even though they have to take public transport to get to somewhere. So what's this about Jackie the Ripper? Yeah,
my next note is, as Sod already said, is Jackie the Ripper, which is a thing you can put into your podcatcher app, because this is the section of random things we'd like to talk about.
Mhm.
And I've recommended Let's Make a Sci-Fi a few weeks ago, I think, on
Okay.
the show. Do you remember that? That's another podcast.
I do remember what they're about. They basically script out sci-fi series.
Well, yes. It kind of follows along these three writers, and they try and make a serious sci-fi show. That's a good podcast. That's still going on.
Ooh, does sound nice.
And I found another new podcast that I like. It's a serial podcast, and it's this time it's a fictional one. That's important to remember. Drama. Well, I don't know if that's what it's called, but yeah.
If it's completely fictional, then yeah, it is an audio drama. Even if you're not buying a box set.
Can't you have fictional fun stuff? It's children on a playground.
I think drama refers not to like what it became more associated with, like, you know, just like
it's
the sad
fucking serial things. Podcast. It doesn't matter.
I know. It's about just like becoming, you know, drama, fictitious. It's a play, aka a drama. You know, that's what it refers to. Because there's a lot of other dramas that take the piss, so to speak.
Okay, well, I'm warning. So I want to recommend this to people who like serial podcasts. It's not finished yet. There's 3 seasons. Only 2 of them are out now. The next one is coming out Halloween this year.
Wow.
Which is really stupid, because I just found this and I just listened to all 2 seasons, which is what, like 16 episodes or 10 episodes or something, and I listened to them like 4 a day basically, and I was like, this is awesome. And basically what it is, a lot of murder, and specifically murder of men, and then things happen to the genital region.
Jesus.
And I'm warning you now too, they have very graphic descriptions. It has literally a warning in the beginning of every episode. So yeah, I recommend you actually do not listen to this with your 3-year-old kid, unless you want them to know how to exactly kill somebody with a scalpel or whatever.
Eek.
Yeah, but it's a comedic thing, because it's like just police screwing around, and also the fact alone, like, oh, this dude was murdered and his dick is cut off and missing now. Well, that's already funny itself, I think.
I mean, I think
funny.
I think the comedy can come in from like this very serious thing going on, and like all the police are just so comedically inept that they're just completely incapable of solving this crime. That can be funny. I mean, though at the same time, there's something of a double standard when it comes to trauma of abuse of men versus women. Like, one in media gets portrayed typically as very seriously. The other, unfortunately, ends up as a joke far too often for my liking.
That's literally part of the podcast, yeah. They're also discussing this, like, oh, is this a feminist movement? Is this like the post-feminist society kicking in now? What is this? And it also explores, like, I didn't even know about this before, because why the fuck would I? But, like, London has... This is in London set, by the way, in Whitechapel. It has 32 boroughs, and watching over all of them is the Metropolitan Police Department. Except for the City of London, which has their own police department. And I'm already concerned. London, what are you doing? Why do you have one singular, small, tiny little borough called City of London? Are you actually for real? That can't be. That's a joke. Somebody did that as a joke. So
it depends on what buildings are. I know 10 Downing Street would be like in the City of London, I suppose, in that area. So it might be the case that, like, hey, this is where all the important stuff goes on. We probably kind of need a dedicated police station for this area. You know, just make a bigger, more generalized one for, like, everything else around us.
I'm literally going to look that up right now. I want to prove you either wrong or correct because I have no. It's in the city of Westminster. That's not City of London, but it also
Dang.
has City of in the name. So no, that's Metropolitan Police. Well, it doesn't matter. So it also explores that kind of like, oh no, now we're competing with the other people because something happened there, which is outside of our boundaries. Oh no. When I listened to the first like 1 or 2 episodes, I was like, this feels kind of like a bit cheap because in the beginning they often like repeat the same kind of cheap joke. And the joke basically just is, this is super easy, you're going to probably figure this out in the goddamn trailer too. The joke is basically just like slight like misunderstandings. Like there's a dude who's like throwing up while they're looking at like a dead body, and the other officer says, well, have a closer look. And the dude who just threw up says like, oh, look, it's noodles. And then they go, well, no, look at the fucking body, you idiot. Dumb things like that, they repeat very often. And at first, I thought that's kind of repetitive. But then as it goes on, it gets a lot better, the script.
Yeah, I think it's that's a running gag, and like you gotta pace those out, you know?
Yeah, I think they didn't do a great job of that pacing in the first, like, I don't know, 3 episodes or something. But yeah, it's produced. It's probably a very high production value, and it has very great voice actors in it. I very much like them a lot. They've done a very good job. I think it's a good podcast. So yeah, if you want to know how a crime is not solved correctly, then you can listen to Jackie the Ripper. They have a trailer, I think multiple for the 2 seasons. You have to listen in order because otherwise it's not going to make sense.
Also, probably spoilers, so.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'll try and be super quick about this. I was hoping to get a link I can maybe promote, but none at this time. Maybe I will be able to add one later before this gets uploaded on Monday. But first thing I'm going to say, going to be starting a new D&D campaign that may or may not be getting streamed and or recorded. So look forward to that. I hope to have a lot of fun on that. And I really do. I'm really excited. Because I got secrets for my character, and it makes me happy to finally try and get to do one of these. Hopefully it works out, but you know, like, if your platform supports it, do comment below if you felt the pain of getting super hyped for a character. You know, really putting a lot of yourself into them. Just so excited to explore them for a while, and it's like, it's session 3, and the campaign is dead. Yeah, okay. That part of me is gone forever. Oh, God, that took so much out of me. And just the other thing I'm going to say, just to have my own little rambling section, something that made me very happy is a little while ago, it got delayed because of like shipping stuff, because of, you know, the global pandemic. I got some acrylic standees based upon, but like, I have a ship for characters in Hell of a Boss, Luna Moxie, makes me very happy. Got some official critic standees from Shark Robot, sold by VisiPop, on that site. And I really do enjoy it. And the thing that really gets me to laugh is, like, I was considering, you know, maybe I get Millie as well just for the sake of it, or maybe I don't. Like, just see how much it'll all be together and think it out. But it turns out I didn't have to worry, because apparently they weren't even selling the guy's wife alongside him when it came to those acrylic standees. And that is just something that really does chuckle my heart, you know. Just gets a real funny, warm sensation there. Just, seriously. But yeah, anyhow, all I think about that is, like, Short King Spring is coming up, and I hope that ship, or just any ship from Hell of a Boss featuring Moxie, gets a lot of love and support over this time. Because apparently that's a thing, and hopefully somehow through memery, I can start a trend. So do indulge me and my nonsense. Thank you very much.
So many things I don't know.
What don't you know? Hell of a Boss, or
anything that you just said, basically.
Hell of a Boss is like,
doesn't matter.
I'll just give it the description, is an adult animated series on YouTube that you can watch for free on Visipop's channel, or just search up Hell of a Boss. It is a mature, edgy comedy with characters who are literally set in the depths of hell, who run an assassination business for people who want to get revenge on the living.
That sounds too wild to me. I'm not going to search for that.
That's very fun. Anyhow, there's a wolf girl named Luna. If you've ever heard of the show, you've probably seen her about on certain sites. And one of the employees there is named Moxie. He typically gets a lot of abuse from a lot of the characters in the show. And, you know, a cathartic ship is, for some people, is shipping him with Luna, someone who, what's it typically, you know, is also one of the people giving him some of that abuse. I think people just really like it because, like, that it comes down to like game theory, like picturing things out and how they would eventually, how you'd have to like get them to interact to come around to such a state, is very intriguing to people. Anywho, that's all you need to know. It's very funny. Go give it a watch if you're interested in those things. I think it's the same person that made Has Been Hotel. So, well, I think it is. But yeah, and that's getting on, I think HBO Max or something. It's definitely been picked up as proper series, that one. So, yeah, and that is the end of my ranting section. Balanced all things. Super long in one, super brief in the other. Yin to yang. Now, let's see how quickly we can get through some of these, because we're already an hour, 20 minutes into the recording. Yes?
God, no. We have to do something else first. Yes.
Ad break. Enjoy the ads, everybody. I hope they're very thirsty. Topic number 1. E3 2022. Digital and physical has officially been cancelled. The ESA has shared an official statement with IGN confirming E3 2022's cancellation and announcing that E3 will return in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase. Whatever you say, mates. Whatever you say. We will devote all our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer. Whether enjoyed from the show floor or your favorite device, the 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, and industry back together in an all-new format and interactive experience. We look forward to presenting E3 to fans around the world from Los Angeles in 2023. They really love putting years in this for some reason. DSC added to the 2022 showcase has been cancelled, so the organization could focus on its resources on the 2023 show.
That makes sense. I thought that was me being derpy again, but that's a different sentence.
Yeah. The show's been cancelled. 3 different paragraphs informing you of the same thing.
Yeah, basically.
That's a word count article.
But there's going to be one next year, apparently.
Hey.
What do you think?
I don't know. What's it? That indie one? That's with that notable guy. You know, that was kind of big in the industry. You know, people know and like him. I feel that kind of filled a lot of the space that E3 did, and then there was so many mess-ups that E3 has done in previous years, like leaking, doxing just a bunch of people who were attending the convention,
What?
Yeah, I think it was pretty sure it was E3, where they just kind of like left it on a password unprotected file that you could easily access online. Just about all these people attending. Here's the names. Here's the addresses. Enjoy, hackers.
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, they've done so much dumb stuff like this, and they've been on such a low key for the last few years. And all these companies, just show up if it's there, I guess, and maybe have a thing or two. But the Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo, they're all focused on their own independent, separate things that they can do, independent of E3. You know, it's just is what it is. And the things that do need those promotions has that indie dev one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but like I'm sure other people know and commented below just to help others out if the commenting is supported on your platform. Like there's so many other showcases for those games now, and they just wouldn't get the highlight of these other things. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna pull through. I think it's eventually just gonna go kaput.
I think E3 is gonna fade out of existence. Yeah, actually, sadly, I think they've focused it wrong. If you focus your whole your whole event around the announcements of 3 companies, that's not a good business model.
Yeah, they needed to give a lot more promotion to like indie games, you know?
I was at Gamescom 2 times so far, which is the biggest games convention in the world, which happens in Germany, in Cologne. And that's pretty good every time because as far as I understand it, it's just not only does it have more visitors than E3 gets, but it's also just way bigger. They have like way more like different halls and stuff. They have different spaces for like indie games. They have different spaces for retro stuff, different spaces for like hardware companies, PC building companies, PC parts companies.
That sounds so good.
If you want free stuff, you just have to go to like any PC company and they will give you so much like fucking t-shirts and mouse pads and random crap. They have
you can get enough t-shirts at conventions to clothe every homeless person for like a year at least, you know? I'm saying a year as if like somehow when the year ends, the clothes are just going to disintegrate.
Just disappear, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, well, I was going to say the clothing disintegrates, but still. And to be fair, if companies could somehow figure out a way to do that, that would make it cheaper to produce, they would do it, you know? It's not like they wouldn't. It's not like they're above that.
Well, Gamescom is pretty good. They even have like this one full hall, which is just like where you buy random merch stuff. So you can you can have a great day there. Stand in line for like the next Mario game. See, well, I don't know. Look at some other like new stuff coming out. Then wander over to fucking, I don't know, any random PC company and be like, well, I'm pretty good at League of Legends and they're having a tourney right now, so let's just take part in that and win a PC randomly. And then you just wander around, pick up some food, play like an old arcade game, and then buy a tits mouse pad from the merch hall. It's an actually great experience.
You know, it actually... Oh god, was there ever just like people selling art and posters and whatever, booklets and all that, lewd and wholesome of just like video game characters at these things? Because that actually would be pretty rad. It's just like, oh, you're a fighting game fan. May I present you this fanzine of lewd artwork of the Capcom Street Fighter games? Street Fighter and King of Fighter and what's it?
Very much depends. I think I've seen like these tits mouse pads at least of like many characters. So,
which can also double. They can also double as butt mouse pads as well.
I don't have one of those. Every single other person I went with got one of those.
I mean, if they had one of a character I really like, maybe. But the thing is, it's like, I don't know. You know what they need to do? What's it? Just like a herm one, where it's just like a bunch of girls next to each other, so I can still have that big mouse pad that I have for like moving around fully that I do now. But I can also just like, move
around fully. What?
Yeah, because if it's just one pair of tits just in a small area, I can only move out so much. I have to like pick the thing up and move it again to have full range of motion.
Okay.
With the full mat, with like the bottom just being a line of girls, I can move from like cushion to cushion to cushion, so to speak. Just move to where I need to be when I need to be as I'm moving about and doing stuff. That's actually a good idea. Has anyone ever done that?
Don't say that.
How so?
getting off. This is about E3 being bad, not
Yes, and
about new mousepad inventions.
I think we established that. Like, and I don't have the means to get that going. If I did, like, I'd say cut that out. I want to do it myself, but like, I clearly don't. Oh, if only I could win the lotto. God, I just need to be free from this constant pressure. This constant pressure of never having enough money for anything.
Well,
got real, folks. It got real.
By God, we're gonna have to put like a mature content warning, like actually a mature content warning at the beginning of this episode.
You weren't going to do that for anything else I said up until this point?
Well, no, also for everything else. And also now, depression and money issues.
Hey, I am depressed all the time. All the time. I just choose to use humor to express it and mask it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a very relatable method.
From online people that have been to E3 and Gamescom, I've heard like stories that E3 is not that good because there's nothing there except for the actual modern consoles that you have right now, which is not that good, I think. So, yes. I think it's sad that they did it badly, but they fucked up and is slowly dying now. Yeah.
I will just say, like, console situation is pretty effed right now. I don't know if we're getting like the full experience we can from these systems. Just for the sole reason that, so few people have them, and because of scalpers, and the like, and shipping and the whole pandemic has affected the supply chain and production lines and everything. So it's like, I just worried, like, we're not going to get the really big, spectacular special games that I really wish we could, even later into these systems' lives, because they're still worried about making sure these things can run on the PS4 and the Xbox like Series X or not Xbox One X. There we are. Such a dumb naming convention.
Having your game run on an older system doesn't mean that you can't optimize it for the new ones.
Well, it's not just about like optimizing what is there, but it's like going beyond the limitations of these old things.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You still have to like build them within mind of still being feasible to run them some way on the system, as opposed to only caring about the new stuff and just having like that be the base, the baseline, the foundation, what you can expand into.
Yeah, but you can use both generations to their full extent if you spend enough time on it, which is what they don't do. So it doesn't work out.
I mean, the thing is, though, at a certain point, you diverge and be building like not for 2 full separate games, but definitely like 1.5 just to keep like the old generation going. But at the same time, that's like where the largest install base is now. Because like I've been very fortunate in being provided the opportunities to get these things, because they are so hard to find. Even still, I believe the scalpers just constantly keeping that price high. Good. And do politicians do anything about this to protect consumers? Nope. Just capitalism.
Well, the UK have done something against scalpers. I forgot what it was. But
okay, I think did we cover that? Yeah. I don't
think we did. That was before you were even on here, I think. Actually. So no.
God. I mean, I remember in full detail the conversations we've had about like Mina and Luda Bunny and Minnie Mouse, but not that specific piece of legislation. Oh boy, I'm slurring my words a lot tonight, aren't I? But yeah, I guess that just shows when my brain stores things and puts things in a recycling bin. Yeah, I think we've rambled completely off topic of E3 shutting down, so, being skipped a year. Air quotes.
And then shutting down in 2024.
Yep.
It sucks so much though, because these events, they take like almost a year to fucking organize and then have it not take place. That's bad.
It is.
Even a bad event like E3 was apparently still takes a lot of effort and money to organize, and then when it doesn't happen, it just screws up.
Yeah, to people, and when it doesn't happen, they don't get paid. At
yeah,
least,
that's not good.
The day where they would make the most money, you know?
I don't really give a shit about companies and organizations, but when people get hurt, which is definitely happening now, when you spend 10 months working on this one thing and then it's like, well, let's just not do it this year because, well...
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
Not good.
Real bummer.
Let's go into topic number 2, which I think is already in stupid one. But okay, I want to read this one. Twitter explores letting 2 accounts co-author a tweet. Twitter has confirmed it's exploring a new feature that would allow 2 accounts to co-author a single tweet, TechCrunch reports. App researcher Alessandro Paluzzi, I guess, has been posting evidence of this feature's development since last December, but more recently discovered what appears to be an official dialogue box from Twitter about how these tweet collaborations could work. A co-author feature wouldn't be a stretch for Twitter, given competitor Instagram has offered something similar since 2021. I had no fucking idea.
Like I said before we started recording, Instagram is like a kind of like not even a full generational app, but like half a generation. And it's just like everyone above me and you know, that's like a vote or not, regardless. A lot of them have gotten like very, very big into and potentially even big on Instagram, and this like retains its relevance because of that. But like to anyone else like lower, as this is like I think older Gen Zs or even younger than that, it's like what is Instagram? Who cares? The only thing I really know about Instagram is like it gets a lot of pirated art put up on there.
Well, I think
from these bot accounts that
teens
no one can do about.
Too. I think it's just...
Do they? Or are they just on TikTok? You know?
I think they use both of it. Probably more TikTok nowadays, though. I think it's just our generation. Well, I guess people who are teens now, that's also just me, but like 5 years younger. But somehow that's a weird place where I'm in, and you too, where I guess we're like in the part where we grew up with Instagram existing as a Facebook thing, and then we're like, not use this, don't use it. But I guess younger people now just don't really care. They just see every person using it, and then they use it too. I don't know.
I don't even know about that, because like younger generation like ourselves and people like 5 or so years below us are like more than previous generations, very politically inclined. Hey, did we even finish this, or
we didn't? Yeah, I was just confused because it says Instagram offered something similar.
Anyhow,
there are plenty of reasons why 2 accounts might want to have their name attached to a single post, ranging from brand partnerships, influencer campaigns, or even just sharing credit for funny posts. According to screenshots by Paluzzi, you'll only be able to invite public accounts who follow you to co-author a tweet, and they'll have to accept your invitation. Hopefully there's some mechanism in place to stop popular accounts from being repeatedly hit with requests to co-author spammy tweets. Once published, collaborative tweets are shared with followers from both accounts, and both avatars will be shown to the top left of the post.
I think the method was like you have to be following each other, you know? Like you both have to be following each other to then suggest like co-authoring a tweet.
That's how it should be, I think.
I hope so, because like... Yeah. And I will say, it's like, for the average person, this is completely pointless, but like, actually, for like what it says, brand partnerships, influencer campaigns, okay, not the other one, but just like VTubers. The first thing I thought of is like, oh yeah, this is probably going to be very good for VTubers who like do collabs very often, or like, interact very often as well, just make joke sheets with each other or just promote things, collabs. Your average user, worthless, but this is actually a pretty good thing for anyone who does this a bit more businessy
I guess
on
cross
Twitter.
promotion, yeah.
Yeah.
My first thought was actually, I was like, why the hell would you need to co-author 280 fucking characters? Why? It's not a book. Like, what?
I guess, but it's just so you can do it whilst maybe
Can't
over
come up
Discord with each other on the
Can't
phone
come up with
instead
two
of
words yourself, two sentences. Like, why?
not even that, but it's maybe some things are what's it? For example,
I
you
mean,
say
I get it. When I come up
you
with a
refer to-
funny joke and you
I know.
expand the joke and make it perfect, sure.
Yeah.
Give us both a tweet credit, but like,
I know. But it's also say you're on the phone with someone and it's you refer to a visually sort of femme-looking person as a she or her, but they're non-binary, and they can just whilst you're crafting this tweet, correct that and say whilst talking to you, it's yeah, I'm non-binary, just keep it to they them, that just saves
have to do with having two names show up.
Because if you're, I said, making a tweet together, say VTubers, Not to mention having both names show up allows you to click on either name and then get to their accounts.
If this allows multiple things, if this allows more than one added person, we could definitely try using this once it comes out. It's not rolled out yet, and it's not known when it rolls out.
Oh god, yeah.
But we have @UploadingPod on Instagram and Twitter.
I mean, honestly, if this works, I'd love to start using this on Twitter with you, just
every
to
goddamn
add the connections.
New clip, every new clip for the pod we put out, just have my and your account logos next to the Uploading Podcast thing. That would be feature.
Amazing. Also, I gotta retweet more of that stuff. I really got to. I keep forgetting about it. I was thinking earlier this week, retweet the episode that went up on Monday, and look at it, we're recording again. Actually, what? No, what else then?
I started off hating this idea, and now I think it's probably a good move.
It's useful to us because we're not just an average user. We're actually trying to do some content creation on end. So it's there's the use to it. If you're making any content, if you're making content at all whatsoever, or product or service, this is a very useful feature to you. If you're just your average person following someone who makes those things, or following artists, or just anything else, just a meme account even, this feature will be useless to you.
Well, no, I don't think it is, because when you see art that's collaborated between two people, being able to click on both their accounts, that would be useful. Great.
That would be useful. Again, that's useful for the artists. And it makes it easier to then find the name and get access to them, and also save characters on cross promotion. You can just refer to me as Sod instead of @PassionSod, saving a couple of characters, which on 240 character cap, really frees up some hashtags or some puns, which again, just very useful. Topic number 3: China's first domestic GPU announced. More Threads was founded in October 2020 and broke cover in late 2021 with the announcement that it would become China's first fully featured GPU company. Today, the Beijing startup has officially announced its first two graphics cards, the MTT S60 for PC desktops and workstations, and the MT S2000 for servers. Both are based on 12 nanometer, my bad, GPUs built using the MUSA architecture, and the MT-S60 was demoed at the event playing League of Legends at 1080p. Okay, that's the benchmark I get. Well, probably because Arcane was close around the time they debuted this, so it probably was hey, let's do this to some cross promotion. That makes sense. Or maybe the people just liked the League of Legends and picked that as a game. Who knows? There doesn't always have to be in-depth reasons for things. Anyhow, if you want a point of reference for the MTT S60's 6TF LOPS GPU performance claim.
No, wait, that's teraflop. Or flops. Yeah.
Teraflops.
It's a measurement of performance. More is better.
Yeah, I imagined.
That.
Okay, once again. If you want a point of reference for the MTT's S60 6 teraflop GPU performance claim, the Xbox One was heralded as having a 6 teraflop GPU back in...
The 1X. You didn't say the X. That's the important bit.
1X, my bad. A 6 teraflop GPU in 2017. The NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070 from a year earlier had pretty much similar performance by this metric of approximately 6.5 teraflops. As part of the launch presentation, there was a wide range of demos shown. For demo of graphic rendering engine, more threads showed a game of League of Legends being played on an NTT S60. Good lord. So many letters and numbers.
That's a really weird name. That's a wild name.
It's hard to say multiple times. Not like challenging, but it's grating hard, you know? Every time you have to say it over and over again in this, it's like, please just no more. No more.
They've probably looked at like, oh, what are the most similar letters and numbers that we can use for this? MTT S60. Yeah, sure. Okay, go on, please.
Where was I? Not the most demanding game, but gamers will be happy to know that the advanced features such as global illumination, anti-aliasing, physical rendering, soft shading, reflections, and volumetric light are said to be supported. The title ran at 1080p, but we don't know anything about the graphics quality or an average frame rate. One must remember that LoL's official recommended specs are very low. To play fluidly, Riot only recommends an NVIDIA GeForce 560 or an AMD Radeon HD 6950. Nice. Or better updated specs from July 2021.
Yeah.
I love that. What mad lad put 69 in the title of a graphics card? They were just having a field day with that.
Now, I don't think you're going to know this, but the 6950 is, I think, 11 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
And one of the most recent graphic cards that AMD has put out is the Radeon 6900. And I think the 6900 XT. So they've circled back in the fucking number scheme. They mean the old ones here. They mean the graphics card from 10 years ago, the 6950. That's a old GPU. And you can also tell from 560, the GeForce card, that's also very old.
We just have to get rid of the Radeon. It's just AMD 69. Can we all just accept that? Can we all just accept that from now on?
I think everybody already accepted that. Nobody had a problem.
Apparently. Just embrace the meme number. You put it in there to begin with. You could have easily said 70 or 68, but you're stuck with 69. You knew what you were doing to yourselves.
Well, they had a 68 before.
You could have skipped it. These numbers are meaningless. Utterly meaningless, and just done for branding purposes.
Okay, well, no. Let's not do that, because you're going to say, oh, you just call it gold and silver and copper or something. I think we've talked about this before.
I think I described it not as like individually, but as part of a brand, like the 69 gold, the 69 silver, 69 bronze, you know? That gives you some tiers to figure out, but...
We've done this before. We've had this before, the conversation.
Yes.
That already exists, except it has 60 I don't know, 70, 80, 90, 50 at the end of the number for both NVIDIA and AMD. It doesn't matter.
It's
Or hundreds
so many
they have
confusing,
nowadays.
changing numbers and letters. Anywho,
No, it's not.
I
for
don't
anyone
really
else.
have much more to say. Like, they ran the most like easy to run game they possibly could on this. Like, competition is good in the graphics card industry.
Well, do you realize this was launched less than 2 years ago?
The graphics card, yeah.
The whole fucking company.
Yeah.
Going to, well, I thought I put this in here because it's really impressive, I think. Starting a company and then 2 years later, if this is true, that this is completely made in China and completely like a fresh, built from the ground up graphics system, if they've done that and they have a 1070 amount of power in this thing, they've done this in less than 2 years. I think that's wildly impressive.
I think, like, in my personal opinion, a lot of these like development was outsourced to like, not like designing of it, but like actually like making the physical things and then shipping them back. A lot of that was outsourced to China to begin with, so it wouldn't surprise me there would be a lot of people there with the technical expertise to actually get together, make a company, and thus quickly put out like graphics card that could keep pace with industry standards right now. That does not surprise me, but I do wish them the best of luck, and I support competition because it then forces prices down.
If this actually has a 1070 level of power, that means in like 2 or 3 years, they're going to be on par with what Intel and AMD and NVIDIA are doing.
And that's just good for everybody else.
Yeah.
You know?
That's wild.
If nothing else, it then becomes the preferred method of like graphics cards locally within China and maybe some other Asian countries, thus making AMD and NVIDIA preferred in like other regions, thus lowering the prices somewhat, you know?
Maybe.
Hopefully. Or just with like releases the graphics cards like to America as well, and some people go with that, and then that lowers the prices. Either way, as long as they all get together in a boardroom and say, okay, let's not go below this amount, and then like we'll just go wild from there. As long as that doesn't happen, we're golden.
Of course, we still have to actually have the reviewers get their hands on these and test them out with other games and productivity and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, it's apparently the easiest one to run, so no duh. No, why didn't they run Crisis? That's like the meme one, you know, for testing a graphics card.
That would have been the mean one for a 6950. That's not hard to run for something with a 1070 level of performance, but they could have used that, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't that much of a risk added on, why not, you know?
Yeah, but they just chose to do that. It doesn't matter, I think. We're going to see what happens, and GG to this. I like that. I like more competition. If you look back at like how wild the world of graphics accelerators was in like the 90s, there were so many companies. There were so many, and NVIDIA was just like one of them. And somehow they came out on top. I mean, they made good moves, but like, wow.
I mean, between their good moods, the competition's bad moods, and just
they also fucked up.
Natural nature of, like, you know, again, making Amazon the biggest platform, they certainly did a lot of bad practices, and there wasn't enough regulation on them, but also there was the convenience. There was the convenience of just going with what you knew worked.
Well, other graphics chips that work too, though, until they didn't because the company's fucked up. But yeah,
yep.
Well, okay, that's the same thing with CPUs actually too. Like there are so many like different competing companies and CPU standards, and then Intel wasn't even like the good ones. They invented the microprocessor. Yes, good on them, but then their chips were not that good compared to like the other ones. Like Spark architecture and the MIPS architecture and PowerPC and probably like another one. Yeah, ARM existed too, and then all of them like kind of died, and then Intel came out on top and AMD.
That's not good.
That's what happens when you develop your own high-end chips for like workstations that cost $100,000, and then you decide to, for no fucking reason, switch it out for Intel chips anyways, even though that's the whole selling point. And then your company dies. Well, let's move on to number 4. Speaking of Intel, Intel shows off its first Arc desktop GPUs coming summer 2022. First of all, summer 2022, what do they mean by that? Probably like, I don't know, July, August, something like that, probably.
I don't know. The seasons are really getting messed up because of global warming. Like, I don't know anymore.
And also, I've messaged some people about this, or I have got messages about this because I saw a tweet and I responded. That is stupid. This is stupid on so many levels because companies like Intel is a global company, right? There's countries that don't have seasons. There's also countries where summer happens in December, like in goddamn Australia, because it's on the other side of the world.
Look, it's an American company. You know, when they say summer, they mean American summer.
That's stupid, though. That's really dumb.
I know. Just give us a month. Give us a month of range.
Use a month, or say like Q3 or whatever.
Yeah, just use that. Be unambiguous with it.
Intel's Arc GPUs, how do you say that? Debuted today.
Well, at least
for
that's
laptops.
how I say it.
Debuted for laptops. I don't know. They did something today for laptops, but the company hasn't forgotten its highly anticipated re-entry into the world of desktop graphics cards either. The company showed off a first look at the final Arc hardware, along with a reveal that the first GPUs will arrive this summer as a limited edition release. The company isn't offering too many details on the desktop Arc cards beyond the quick glimpse of the hardware itself, although presumably more details will arrive before summer. The video does show, there's a link by the way, the video does show that the Arc card has a dual fan design, along with a single HDMI port and 3 display ports on the side. Although it's not clear what the specifications for those ports are from the appearance alone. Intel is calling the new Arc card a limited edition. However, it's not clear whether that means the company will have a limited stock of cards when they launch, or if it's an appellation for its in-house GPUs, similar to NVIDIA's Founder Edition branding.
Oh.
That's stupid, by the way. I really hate the name NVIDIA Founders Edition cards. That's not a good name.
Yeah, it does.
I think it sounds
It's
cheap.
It's a bit of a mouthful. It doesn't sound nice to say.
I mean, every graphics card name sounds stupid. I think Founders Edition is one of the less stupid ones. Like, what sounds better? Saying, oh, I have a 3090 Founders Edition, or I have an Asus NVIDIA 3090 Crossbow X version overclock edition. Fuck off. Or whatever random. Literally, let's go on Amazon. Let's go on Amazon and see the dumb fucking names. I'm telling you, like the first thing. Okay, this is just. Well, I typed in NVIDIA, so only Founders Editions are showing up. Type in 3090. Okay, literally the first thing that I see is a Zotac RTX 3090 Trinity OC. Okay. An MSI GeForce RTX 3090 Supreme X gaming graphics card. Yeah. These all have dumb names. These all have insanely stupid names. Good news, though. Intel has finally decided that they are going to release these goddamn graphics cards that they've seemingly been working on for forever. Forever.
Better late than never, I suppose. Though it's better good than bad.
Have you looked at the video? Look at the video. I think
Where's
it looks
the video?
pretty cool. There's a link.
At the bottom.
Yeah,
I click on that.
And then in there, you have the embedded video. It's basically just some promo rendering thing. I think it's done pretty well. And it looks pretty cool. It's not gonna. We're expecting
pretty well.
We're expecting these not to be the most high-end graphics cards, but yeah, every mid-range gamer that buys one of these means that another 3080 is going to be ready for sod once he gets his mind around not buying a 3090. I think it looks actually pretty cool. It's not gamery looking, which I think is good.
I mean, the card is, but mostly it's just like an absurd amount of CGI. Like it's Iron Man getting suited up.
Well, okay, the animation looks gamery, but the card itself just looks like I don't know. It looks like a working thing to me. Looks like it could do a job.
I hope so, but like fundamentally, it's like again, it's like Iron Man's getting spec'd up here. It's just a graphics card, you know. Like, I guess it's better than nothing, but like at the same time, it's like completely unnecessary.
They have to do promos for this, otherwise people won't buy it. Yeah, so these things are coming. I don't know, depending on what the performance is. Sure, I'm going to buy one of these and stick it into my AMD system running Linux. It's probably going to work fine on Linux. They've already shown pretty good support for Linux stuff with their CPU, so
we can only hope.
We're expecting that not to be bad for GPUs, because that would be really dumb. Yeah.
A moment of silence for future Silas, whose rig was utterly destroyed by this card.
Well, we'll have to see about that. It goes the same for this as with the more threads GPU. We'll have to see when it actually comes out, and we'll have tests in and stuff like that. I would buy one of that if it's better than a 1060. I like that it doesn't look gamery. Like, if you look at most graphics cards, they have like angry gamer angles and like reds and shit, and like weird angles and
yeah. I'm not gonna lie though, if they had purple on it, I'd love that. But yeah, it doesn't need that, you know?
I think it already looks cool. It
looks pretty good.
Looks sleek. Yeah, looks simple. I like that too. Going back to my Amazon tab. Going back to my Amazon tab, and you just see all of these wild designs. Like, I don't know, this looks like some fucking like insane shit. Most of these graphics cards that you could buy from normal gaming graphics card companies. My God. But yeah, this means that the world is gonna be more exciting for people who want to buy graphics cards. Maybe the prices will actually start coming down eventually, because there's gonna be the Chinese
competition. Yeah, the Chinese Intel one here. Well, we probably should not say Chinese and say the more thread cards, more threads.
The suspiciously, well, it looks like the new Intel Arc fucking thing. Well, how did that happen? No.
China's like, yeah, go ahead. But no, that's actually Russia right now. It's like, break whatever patents you want. Like, we don't care.
That's probably true. Do we know what these are going to be called yet? We know. Oh yeah. Okay. I think they're going to call them Arc 3, Arc 5, and Arc 7, like their CPUs.
I think Marvel might sue them for that. Or at the very least would be idiotic enough to try.
Well, no, Intel's going to call their own GPUs the same as the CPUs. What are you talking about? What did
No,
you think
Arc
I said?
Reactor. You said they were going to call them the Arc something, am I correct?
Well, it literally is called Arc. Have you seen the image? Have you seen the video? It's called Arc.
Oh.
The code name is Alchemist, I think, for this generation, and the name is just Arc. That's what they call. That's what their G-force is, basically.
What was I thinking? I only know Marvel has tried to copyright the word mutant in the past.
Oh my god.
They are just absurd with their nonsense.
I'm happy that they called it Arc, though, and not XE or Xenon. That's stupid, by the way. Intel have server CPUs that are called Xeon, Xeon.
Mm-hmm.
People constantly think it's the gas xenon, and now having a prototype of like these graphics cards be called XE, which stands for xenon. That was a dumb choice. That's a dumb choice. So I'm happy that they just called it Arc now. Don't confuse people with exactly the same fucking name that they thought another product was for the whole history. Okay. So yeah. Finally good graphics for Intel, yeah.
Let's see.
Next topic, please. We're done with this.
Topic number 5. Let's scroll down to it. Topic number 5. PlayStation Plus cost more now. Oh boy, I have that to look forward to. Thanks. I will admit I've been thoroughly dissatisfied by the selection of games for the PS Plus for a while now. Like the last few batches of them, it's been like, okay, that's great. Meanwhile, I have like the Final Fantasy remake here, Shadow of War. What was another one? Another one I got through that service. I got Hollow Knight. I played that in another one via Game Pass, but that was a good one to get at the very least. Just a ton of good games, and now it's like, nope. I think Bioshock Collection, I think. Oh, and like the Neo and what's... Oh, no, those were like PlayStation hits. Still, I've just been very dissatisfied with the last few batches. And I'm hoping this one...
what it says.
Yeah, I've heard about this before, but that's... PlayStation's entry into the subscription game comes from the combination of two previously distinct services. There was an anemic PlayStation Now, well put, a service that offered streaming for a mix of previous gen and more recent PlayStation games, and PlayStation Plus, which provided online multiplayer access and a handful of free games to download and keep every month. While you could get games through those services, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as a stream PlayStation games
That's
on
not
PC.
7.
Final Fantasy VIII Remake. Wait, what now?
V is 5, and then I, that's 8.
But I don't think there was a Final Fantasy VIII Remake.
Well, maybe it's just wrong.
Then yes, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Literally, when you hover over it, it says Final Fantasy VII Remake. So the motherfuckers just wrote it wrong in the article.
While you could get great games through the service, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as stream PlayStation games on PC, fans have complained that the games on offer were not as enticing as as Xbox Game Studio titles launching day one on Xbox Game Pass. Oh, saying Sony and Xbox so many times in this entry.
Yeah.
Sony's now rolling the two entities into one, combining them under the PlayStation Plus, which is, with its higher tiers, creating the largest subscription library to date. PlayStation Plus will be operating in 3 tiers. PlayStation Plus Essential costs $9.99 per month, or you can get a steep discount by paying... why not? Well, actually, yeah, that is actually steep now I'm thinking about. Anyhow, a steep discount by paying $59.99, $60 yearly, and is basically how PlayStation Plus works now. Players will get online multiplayer access, cloud storage for games, and 2 great games to download and keep per month. PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus Extra is essentially the Xbox Game Pass tier. It is $14.99 per month, or again, save by paying for the year at an upfront $9.99. It grants you everything in the essential tier, plus access to a library full of what Sony called the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games to download. However, unlike Game Pass, if you want PC streaming or previous gen PlayStation games, you have to go up to the next tier. PlayStation Plus for you rolls the 2 larger tiers together and adds cloud streaming of PS3 games and streaming or downloading of original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP games at $17.99 per month, or yearly $119 yearly. This tier is the Retro Games Special. Critically, these services will not offer first-party PlayStation games at launch. In an interview with the Game Industry Biz, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan said that there is a virtuous cycle with the studios and releasing new games at launch on these new subscription services would break that cycle. Oh boy, that tier 3 is just oof. I heard because they messed up the infrastructure on PS3s so badly. Is it infrastructure I'm looking for? The way they designed the software there, it is actually difficult to run a PS3 emulation on
the architecture. Yes,
architecture. There we are. Thank you. They messed up the architecture so bad it's difficult to run on a PS5 right now. This thing can play Final Fantasy VII Remake in 4K, but hey, running a PS3 game in 1080p or 720, it's like that. Come on, don't try and break the things back. Jesus,
that's not a mistake. It's just a completely different way of how the system works. You could probably definitely do it because it has.
I mean, it's a mistake because everyone complained about how difficult it was to design for PS3 compared to the Xbox at the time.
Well,
it's just difficult to deal with, is what I'm saying. There is the mistake, yes. And now so many things that were example on my channel where I do a lot of streaming, I was able for a time, I was subscribed to the PlayStation Now so I could stream the OG Sly Cooper games and Sly Cooper Thieves in Time because they were unable to make it downloadable for PS4, which was what I was using at the time. There was no backwards compatibility like there was with Xbox, unfortunately. And the only way you could play it was via the streaming. And there's a lot of great classic collections that were kind of designed for the PS3, or just great games as well that had a lot of work to be able to be bought and download on the PS4, or have just kind of been stuck there ever since. Or hell, even just a lot of retro older games that now people have to pay on top of the what was it, $14.99 a month, that $15 they're gonna have to pay an extra $3 a month or slightly more per year just to get access to these older games. And a lot of these would just be for retro enthusiasts or streamers. Just give it for free at the lower tier. Not even for free, they're paying for a subscription service and it's adding value to it. Surely it cannot cost you that much money for your first party games to be available. And you can't even get PS1 and 2 to download. You can't even do that. I can play an original Xbox game on my Xbox Series X. Yet PlayStation 1 is beyond PS5, so
well, okay. That's just them not wanting to do it. So
yep. And you wonder why the subscription service is being bet out by Xbox right now.
I don't disagree with having different tiers. Not everybody is going to want to have game streaming and stuff like that.
Well, but again, the only reason they need the streaming is instead of the downloads like you'd get with the basic one, is that they don't give you the options to download for some of them, and the other ones they messed up the architecture for an entire generation, which is still suffering to this day. The point that it's so difficult to figure out how to get to work, it's not worth the effort. It's just a huge blunder. Sticking with them for years down the line. When were they developing the PS3, do you know? I know that the recent generation only came out like 2 years ago in like 2020. Assuming 7 years generation for consoles. Like, came out in 2013, the PS4. PS3 would have had to have been like 7 or so years before that even, so... God, 2006, maybe?
I mean, that's when it came out.
And like it was being worked on
so
well
they started
before
developing
then.
like 2001 or 2000.
Well, no, they already had the other one out by then, PS2.
Yeah,
so
basically when one generation comes out, they will start the basic work for the next one already, I think. So it takes a long time. Of course, they won't have the system ready immediately, but like
I'm gonna say
stuff starts
like
then.
2004 they had a firm idea of what they would be doing for the next gen, and like nearly
I think that's pretty late actually. I think at that point they must have had like prototypes and stuff already.
I mean, if they already knew what they were doing by 2022, then it is 2002, then it is a mistake that is costing them 20 years down the line, affecting the business and what they can do.
Well, I think they could probably do it because there's PS3 emulators that run on regular PCs nowadays, and they run mostly fine.
I think there was stuff, like I remember hearing like someone tried to do it and it was just too intensive on like the the PlayStation. It's designed to like run games in a certain way, and that gets good quality performance out of it, but like you have to adapt the games for that system. And like the emulators just puts too much of a strain on the system, so it's
that was on the PS4 though.
I think that someone did try it on the PS5, and it's not been working.
Literally is just an AMD CPU and an AMD GPU that you can basically buy, and the emulator that people have developed works pretty much okay on a normal AMD CPU. So
I mean, I hope
they could definitely do it, especially because in addition to the just AMD CPU, it has other hardware in there as well, which they could also use.
If they could do it, why wouldn't they have? Because obviously, given like how backwards compatible, like Xbox is at one cost for the subscription tier, just like one blanket cost, regardless of what you're playing. Like, they had to have foreseen this would have been an obvious PR blow against them.
You've seen it though, because Xbox have stopped the backwards compatibility program. They're not adding new games to it because nobody wants to give them licenses.
Exactly. They'd rather like sit on it for years on end, or till they reboot it, or just not release it.
Remake, a remaster.
But like there are a lot of games that were given that treatment, and like just about every game they possibly could have that was like in any way decent to do this for, they did it, and it's available either for you to buy or play through Game Pass. Like, it's as simple as that. Whereas like on Je ne sais quoi, PlayStation side, like so many great games have not seen re-releases.
Yes.
From the the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. Just so many games. If they did not do this Je ne sais quoi streaming service that I did a while ago, I would never have been able to revisit the Sly Cooper franchise or even finish it off with Thieves in Time. Like, I just never would have been able to do that because I never owned a PS3. And it would just be so awkward to try and get one, you know? Like, it's just a royal mess up that 20 years down the line is still affecting them.
I think it would be more fine if it was just one shit tier and then a good tier that had all the cloud streaming and all the other shit you can download, whatever.
Yeah, it was just like the two tiers. One was basically everything you're doing now, and then the other was like this huge library of stuff. Because I think Microsoft did it differently, where it's like, you know, okay, here's what you're paying a month, and we'll just kind of, if you just want gold and you don't want Game Pass, you could still get that separately. But if we're just gonna like waiver your gold fee or whatever, or cancel it. I'm not sure. It will be covered under Game Pass for as long as you have
Game Pass Ultimate, or you can just get Game Pass PC and then only download the games and not get cloud streaming and no Xbox Live Gold because you don't need it on PC on Windows.
I do prefer downloading them just in case, especially because, like, again, streaming,
you can't download it on your phone or your work laptop.
Yeah.
Cloud streaming is pretty good for that, so it's a nice addition to that. I don't like this new tier system. I thought about it the whole time that we talked about this. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's as bad as people say. Like, when I saw a tweet about this and people wrote, like, wow, way to go having a worse service than Nintendo Online. And I was like, what? That's bullshit. But like, this is not as bad, but obviously this is also not as good as Xbox Game Pass.
Nintendo Online, just for like the basic one of playing online, you get a bunch of the old retro games, you know, as well as an additional feature. You would have to exactly pay, je ne sais quoi, an extra, what was it again? $5 monthly? Yeah, an extra $5 a month. No, that's to get up to this cloud library. An extra $3 a month to get access to retro games. For just like $3 a month on Nintendo, you get your internet connection, and you get a bunch of like old games from these NES and Super Nintendo to play as well.
I think what Sony should have done here is have the basic tier for just online play, or actually not have that, because that's just a scam, because they don't even have to pay for service. So fuck off.
It's probably, if you're going to sell, especially like first party multiplayer games that require online connection, you know, kind of scammy to require online pay to be paid through a subscription, you know? It's like, people are already paying for the internet. What infrastructure are you providing that they have to use as well?
Okay, matchmaking servers and a shop. Okay, good. You already get 30% off when people buy Call of Duty, so why does Activision still have to pay for the fucking servers? Yeah. Well, okay, so what I think they should have done is have the essential thing like it is. That's fine. I think too expensive, but that's fine. And then have extra include everything that is inside of the premium one. So all the cloud streaming and downloading shit. And then have the premium option where it also includes all Sony first-party games at launch. I think that's what they should have done. Have the premium tier for when you're like a PlayStation super fan and you want to have all of those games downloaded and ready automatically each fucking time a new one comes out.
Here's the thing, though. It's like, I think je ne sais quoi, Xbox gets away with it is because like a lot of them they've hyped as these first-party releases have been like, other than like Halo, they've been released multi-platform. It's just like comes to Game Pass day one. If you don't have that and you really want it, you still buy it. And they can also get money from selling it on PC and PlayStation like they did with Psychonauts 2. A very good game that I would recommend, as well as the original Psychonauts, but still. It's like, PlayStation can't really do that because they don't have so many studios underneath them that they bought up. Even some of the first parties will be eventually going to Game Pass, such as Deathloop. Like, they just cannot do that. So I guess they're like less willing to put it out there and try and make money with that, despite the fact like how bad of a PR blow it is for them not to have done it. So
I think they would make more money if they had this $18 tier give you all the PlayStation exclusives while you had it. Because you're going to subscribe to it, and you're going to keep subscribed to it because it gives you so much other stuff. Whereas if you don't really give a shit about playing online and you don't want PS3 games and you only ever buy new whatever random PlayStation exclusive comes out, if you only buy that, they're not going to make that much money off you. I think that's a dumb move.
I was just going off. I think the games for April have been released, despite it being April 1st and not April 2nd now where I am, late in the day. The list for the download and add to your library hasn't been updated, but it's saying Hoods, Outlaws, and Legends. Is that a popular game? Does it have a niche fandom? I don't know. I've seen it about for a while. And like it looked kind of interesting having various groups go at each other, but I just don't know if it's still a thing. Slay the Spire, which decent indie get, but also kind of like Hollow Knight as well. It's like, okay, I'd love to have this on this account in case I ever just have like only a PlayStation for some reason. Something happens to my Xbox, or like it's another gen and I'm only able to get the PlayStation first. I can download Hollow Knight, but I already played that on Game Pass, and I've already played Slay the Spire on Game Pass, so it's like, okay. And an actual decent one, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, a good retro remake. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. I get so much more excited when compared to like some of the games I'm still actually getting for gold as well from like Xbox Gold. Like some of those games actually really do excite me. And I actually comparatively did recently get just an actual 360 release of SpongeBob doing something with gold as well. Not even a remake, so just
well, that's nice.
Yeah, like I said, like retro games, and like again on modern consoles that really do buff like the visual performances for a lot of things. Like a lot of those old games may not
implemented it,
yeah, may not even need like full-on remasters. You know, it's just like sell these things and let people play them. If the system can run it, go ahead. And like I would recommend like a lot of like retro games to people to give out a try and just experience. Like off the top of my head, without looking at the playlist library in my Genesis Quad channel, like Psychonauts, again, it is a very fun game. Like, and you can buy that on PlayStation as well, like PlayStation, Xbox. It should be like $10 to $5.99 if it's on sale, and honestly, just give that a go and have a great laugh with it. It's a lot of fun. But yes, I think that's everything we have to say on PlayStation. But I just thought of something that would be a nice little surprise and callback to anyone listening, and a good chance for them to check out my Discord. I thought I would just present you, Silas, with 3 games to select to be added to the list for the new ones I will be playing on alternating Fridays now, because I finished Deathloop. I thought like giving you the choice of one that ends up on the list to get voted for would be neat, and also a good call to come check out my Discord server. So, you ready?
What do I need to do?
You need to listen to 3 names of 3 games. Okay. Look them up or just go off name if you want.
Okay.
And pick one of the 3, and people get to vote amongst some other ones. There's Kenya, Bridge of the Spirits. Scrolling down.
Well, Kenya, that's just a country.
Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. It's Kena. Kana or something? I don't know. I'm just pronouncing that way. NA. Now, the other one is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And the final one will be Middle-earth Shadow of War. Which one do you want to get added to the list, Silas?
Not the middle one. I wish I forgot already the Biohazard
Resident
one.
Evil Biohazard.
Not that. That's scary.
Okay. It will come about eventually.
What is Kena? I guess it's Kena. Not Kenya. Kenya is a fuck.
Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
And the other one is Shadow of War, the Middle Earth one.
An action adventure game.
Hmm.
That's. Well, without looking at the others, I would be for the Kenna one because it's an action adventure game.
I think technically they all are.
Well, probably, but
yeah, just from the random ones I did pick for this. Yeah. What's it? I don't think Shadow of War would be very scary either, but I don't know. It's got some ghosts in possession in there, so you may not be up for that.
Again.
Let's
type Shadow of War in and see Steam. I'm for the first one. I'm for Kena.
Okay, Kena. I shall add that to the list. And you can find a link in my link tree, a now permanent link to my Discord server if you want to check that out and vote for Kena, the choice put forward by Silas, or see what else is available for me to play at your guys' request. What was it again? I went in to see if this was a sequel original and got lost in menus. Anywho, I believe that's just about everything. If you don't have anything to wrap up with,
Actually,
Silas.
I while talking about the Sony one, I just realized or remembered a thing that I wanted to talk about in the rambling section. Literally before we started recording, like 10 minutes before, before we hopped into the voice call, I realized that I paid for Google Stadia $9.99. And I was like, what? I don't have this. And so the thing is, what happened, I have Google One. I'm a bit ashamed to admit that, but not that much. Basically, because I use their cloud storage right now for the podcast stuff, because it's like 25 gigabytes or something, and I don't want to have that on my drive anymore. I want to have that in the cloud so other people can also get the files. And I just haven't looked into other like open source and better cloud services. I don't want to give Google my money. But then I was like, well, it costs like $1.99 or something for the 100 gigabyte option. I was like, well, do it anyways. And that's good. That's a good service. The catch, though, is it at one point it gave me like a thing, or I saw a thing in like a menu where it said, try Google Stadia for free for 3 months.
And
then I was like, let's do that. And we talked about this before already. I couldn't get it to work when I tried it for like 2 times. And then I just didn't give a shit anymore. And like a month later, I tried canceling it. And something must have happened that I didn't do it. And
the thing that happened is they refused to let you cancel because they want to milk this for all they can.
Well, I think I didn't find it in like a menu on my phone in the Google app. And then I think I went to how to do it on the site. And when you go to stadia.com, where you have to go to cancel your fucking Google service, if you go to your normal Google menu where you can cancel your other Google services, you can't cancel Stadia there because why would you?
That would be too convenient.
So you go to the Stadia website and the first thing that comes up is, you have to install Google Chrome now because you're not using official Google Chrome, you fuck.
Well, why would you need to install Google Chrome to cancel a subscription?
And at that point, I was like, "Well, I guess I know why. I know why I did cancel it."
All that nonsense.
I just went to that site and saw it, and I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna do that now. That's annoying." And then just did something else, and then now I have Google Stadia Pro for 1 more month.
Delightful.
I guess I can try it again on PC. Yeah, I'm going to try it again on PC. I only tried it on my phone, which is where it sucked. So
Who knows? Maybe this podcast is where the revival begins for Stadia. The comeback tour.
I'm also thinking of like using the thing on PayPal. It got paid through PayPal, and they have this thing where it can be like, oh no, I want my money back, right? So maybe I'm going to do that.
I tried that, but they
Probably
don't do it
not,
with
no.
Google. I tried that one.
Really?
It's Godzilla, the third one where he battled King Kong or something. And it's like, because they were only streaming it in like 1080p. I had bought that for me and my brother to watch. And it's like, I wanted to watch at least 1080p on this big ass, 4K TV. It's a cheap one, but it still gets like some crisp images. And it's like, you're watching that, and then you see the picture come out in like 480p, and you could literally just count the big pixels on it, you know?
Wow.
It's like,
okay.
Oh, I want my money back for this, because it literally advertised like HD, but it wouldn't give me it to me. So it's like,
that's why I watched Sonic 1, and it was fine.
Did you watch on your phone or
no on a TV with a Chromecast?
Oh yeah, that's the only place they give it to you. Again, like,
well, I mean, there's two options. There's the option for 480p for €3, and then the HD one for €1 more. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just fucking, I'm just gonna pay the thing for HD because I'm not gonna watch it in crap quality. So yeah, maybe you pressed the wrong button.
No, I like went into like the resolution settings and was trying to select it, and the highest it would go was 480. I couldn't get it to play 1080 for the life of me.
That means you had to have bought it for the lower resolution.
No, like the lowest they would have gone is like 720. That's standard definition. They don't give out like 480 or lower.
Standard definition is 480p.
I paid a lot for that thing.
A lot, okay.
Yeah, if that's what they charge for it, like a standard definition, I got ripped off. And more importantly,
at least in Germany, there's €3 for renting it for one day.
Yeah, I bought it to keep, and it's like, because renting was an option.
I never buy that because I would never watch it again.
But yeah,
okay.
But yeah, like for the life of me tried it. It was saying like Ultra HD, you know, buy it for this price. It was out for a while, so it was lower. And you can watch an Ultra HD because of server congestion, which we will not inform you about before you buy the product.
It can't be that shit.
On a 4K TV, 480p, compared to like, 4K Ultra HD, it's pretty shit. Like, I don't know what to tell you. On my phone, when I'm like at a distance, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between 480p and 720. But like 4K TV, which I'm relatively close to, not sitting all the way back, like it looked really bad, really bad.
Sucks.
Yeah.
And then PayPal didn't give it back to you.
Nope, because F individuals, it's all for that corporation. That sweet, sweet corporation. Just tap us on the back of the head when you're ready.
Well,
and thus we close out.
It's very nice that all of you have spent your time here.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. And we close out another episode with me being unable to help myself at all.
I'm actually going to put a disclaimer this time. This was a wild episode. Join us again next Monday.
I feel like we've had wilder. I just got real for a moment about stress about money.
Okay. It's very much often wild here. He's at Passion Sword on Twitter.
Yes. Do follow me on
TV.
Sod Passion Gaming on Twitch, YouTube, which I'm mostly focused about getting monetized, and Trovo now at Silas's insistence, shall we say. Yes. The raffle will be over by the time that happens for you. Check out the Discord server, and I now have a Reddit as well. All that good stuff in my link tree. Thank you very much. And now, Dr. Wiedersehen. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.
So, check Silas's stuff as well. He's uploading on YouTube as well. Check that out.
Maybe I'll
Check
stop
it
when
out.
this comes out already. Probably not, but maybe.
Well, there's a few things up there that are relatively fresh. And if the views keep getting better on them, then, he's got to do more stuff, right?
I have like 160 views on my fucking Pop OS review, which is wild. People like that, apparently.
Yo, what review?
My Pop OS review, the operating system that I use.
Oh, yes.
Pop OS. Yeah, I do software stuff, people.
I thought you were saying Popeye review, and it's like, you reviewed that thing? You reviewed that terrible musical, and people really enjoyed it? Okay.
The OS. Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Are Irish good at sex? Irish men and women are among the most adventurous lovers in the world. That's okay. That explains it all. We've got it now. We've cracked the fucking... Yeah, we've cracked the case.
It's the leprechaun blood in me. That specific, like, what's it, leprechaun film franchise. That horny bastard's blood resides within me.